กลับเข้าสู่เวทีฟอรัมในวันสุดท้ายของการจัดงาน Startup Thailand and Innovation Thailand Expo 2020 นะคะทุกท่านอยู่กับฮันนี่ชลพรรษานเวลาค่ะเรากลับมาบ่ายนี้พร้อมด้วยทีม BCG in Action นะคะว่าด้วยเรื่องของ Green Tech Energy Tech นั่นเองค่ะเราจะไปฟังมุมมองที่น่าสนใจจากทางประเทศญี่ปุ่นนะคะว่าเขามีนโยบายอย่างไรในการพัฒนาเรื่องของ Green Technology ในภาวะที่เราเจอโควิดแล้วก็ทิศทางหลังจากนี้ไปนะคะ All right, now moving on to this afternoon's session, we'll be hearing an interesting perspective on post-COVID-19 and green technology from the New Energy and Industry Technology Development Organization of Japan, the co-host of this particular seminar. The corona pandemic forces the world into a difficult situation. So what is actually happening and what should we do in this inevitable coronavirus era? So NEDO will consider the green technology required in the future. So to find out more about this particular topic, we are very, very pleased to be joined by Ms. Yoshiko Yurugi, Chief Representative for Asian Region, Asian Representative Office in Bangkok, New Energy and Industry Technology Development Organization of Japan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you very much for your introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yurugi, Chief Representative of NEDO Asian Representative Office in Bangkok. I'd like to thank NIA for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. Well, I'd like to share my screen. Okay. Well, can you see my material? Okay. Well, today I'd like to talk about post-corona and green technology. How has coronavirus affected your life? I have been weak in meeting and conversation with colleagues, my friends through the internet, and I have tried to avoid them as much as possible. But now I'm actively using them. Of course, I'm not good at it yet, so I often panic alone, but this is a big change for me. I think coronavirus has made us think about various things, such as how we live and how we work. Today, I'd like to talk about these 4 topics. At first, let me introduce NEDO. NEDO is active in a wide variety of areas as one of the largest public research and development management organizations in Japan, and it was established in 1980 under METI, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of the Japanese government. NEDO's mission is to address energy and global environmental problems and to enhance Japan's industrial technologies. In addition to these missions, our role is to realize and implement the major industrial and energy policy with industry, as well as to feedback the results and actual situations to the government for further policy formulation. Especially in energy and environmental fields, we are promoting renewable energy and further energy conservation by conducting technology development and demonstration for both basic and practical technologies. In order to challenge these missions, we plan and draft a project in government, industry, university, and research institution, and we will build a structure that gathers the strengths of industry, academia, and government through a public invitation of the implementing party. Upon management of the project, we will review the development goals as appropriate and maximize research and development results. These are some examples of our accomplishments. For nearly 40 years since our establishment, we have been promoting the development of new technologies and the creation of innovation. As a result of its activities, NEDO has brought various products in different technology fields into the market as shown on this slide. Well, coronavirus, which has been raging in various countries, were the first case in Thailand on January 13 and in Japan on January 16. At first, it might have been thought that it would go away soon. But in many countries, for example, USA, Japan, many people get infected daily. What's happened in the world due to the expansion of coronavirus? NEDO compiled and published a report called Post-COVID-19 Social Changes and Expected Innovations in June. From this slide, I will talk a part of that. This slide is a social change brought in Japan by Corona, which is a compilation of questionnaires conducted by a Japanese research company. I think the items in the red part that will change our lives in the future. In particular, the promotion of telework is not just a matter of simply working at home, but along with that, it is an opportunity to think about the way of communication, the way of transportation, the way of living as a home. On the other hand, plastic bags, which we have just started working on in Japan, are being used by many due to increased delivery. However, at the same time, I think that it was a chance to think about new initiatives. For example, in Japan, tableware of the restaurant was used for delivery in the past. There was a system where people at the store would come to pick up the container after washing it at each home and leaving it at the front door. It is a reuse of tableware. It may be difficult to apply it to our current lives, but it is possible that new ideas will come from such things as ancestors' wisdom. This is an impact overseas. There are differences between developed and developing countries, but I think there were many changes in terms of human interaction and communication. It is also worth noting that the crisis will increase support for startups who can overcome flexible ideas and take immediate action. We experience many things in this situation. What will the post-COVID-19 society look like? This slide, experts in Japan and overseas anticipate what is described here as post-corona social change. You understand that digital technology and IT technology are related to all keywords. Based on what we felt in the COVID-19 pandemic, the questionnaire and the opinions of experts, I think that the new image of society and social values after post-corona can be summarized into the following six. The first is a digital transformation, and the second is a change in the current political system and global situation. The third is a change in the industrial structure. Fourth, the shift from centralization to decentralization. Fifth, change in our behavior. Finally, a change in awareness of environmental issues. From the above-mentioned 6 points, I will focus on 2 points, decentralization and environment, and talk a little bit more. First, about the shift from centralization to decentralization. Right now, it has become difficult for us to gather freely to prevent infection. I think we will be hesitant to get together in large numbers even as the situation recovers. What happened as a result of people gathering? And what should we do to stay as constant as possible without gathering? If you think about it, first of all, we will shift the current situation from urban centralized to decentralized. Most people with corona infections are in the million of metropolitan areas. Given that people are densely populated and coronas are likely to spread, it is necessary to rethink how to work and where to live in order to disperse this. In the way of working, just like you did, create an environment where you can work wherever you are by remote teleworking. In addition, If you can work wherever you are, you don't have to live in a place where you can go to work, but you shouldn't have any inconvenience. Even in rural areas, we need to be able to live as if they were in a metropolitan area. Another one is about the environment. Thailand's PM 2.5 is now subdued. Even in New Delhi, India, air pollution that sometimes we cannot see even 10 meters ahead, but now it is being improved. In China, air pollution seems to start again as economic activity resumes. Anyway, ironically, these situations are caused by a coronavirus. In any case, this is a situation that is happening because economic activity has stopped. But we cannot keep this situation where the most valuable area where public funds can be invested while gaining public understanding, while also recovering the economy. The first thing that comes to mind when we say this is our commitment to the environment. In the United States and Europe, as part of economic recovery stimulus measures, we are about to start a movement involving environmental policies. Until now, we have been discussed various issues that are surrounding us individually, but now we are trying to transform these issues into a flow of compository entwining these issues and working toward their solution. In the post-corona world, changes in various fields such as education, home, work, medical care, and government will occur, and at the same time, cities will change. The offices, factories, and towns which are used to be concentrated will be deconcentrated. Along with that, we need a society that is more fully equipped with telework and online systems and that is compatible with digitalization. It is also necessary to secure the supplied energy close to us, which is one of the factors in order to prevent the system from being disconnected due to digitalization and not recovering easily. In other words, we need a sustainable and decentralized city that supports digital transformation. Now, let's talk about the expected innovation in post-corona. Through the coronavirus, everyone in the world has realized the importance of digital shifts, but it has not meaning unless sustainable. I said need sustainable. This is especially true for Japan, because Japan relies on imports for energy, resources, food, and many raw materials. If the border will be closed, we will not be able to keep going. This slide is a weakness of Japan revealed by the coronavirus. 4 points are important to turning Japan, which depends on imports, into a sustainable country. The 4 points are, the first is breaking away from mass production and consumption. Second, pursuit of eco-friendly manufacturing. Third, conversion to eco-friendly products. Fourth, realization of environmentally friendly energy supply. In fact, this weak point of Japan has been said for a long time before the coronavirus. Until now, we didn't do the specific prominent efforts, but it can be said that coronavirus gave to make many people realize these things. In order to change this weakness of Japan and to create innovative innovations, realize socially implementable costs and spread them to the world in the fields of energy and environment where Japan has strengths. The government formulated the Innovative Environmental Innovation Strategy in this January. The Japanese government also announced the Circular Economy Vision 2020 in this May. That was written the basic principles of Japanese circular economy policy. That is in order to show our 3R policies and technological strengths that we have been working on since the early 2000s to the global market and to strengthen industrial competitiveness in the medium to the long term. The innovative environmental innovation strategy consists of 3 parts. The first is the Innovation Action Plan, which specifies specific cost target for 16 technical issues in 5 areas. The second is the Acceleration Plan, which shows the research system and investment promotion measures to realize this action plan. The third is Zero Emission Initiatives, which disseminates effectiveness information and does the collaborative creation with global leaders for social implementation. Through these efforts, we aim to establish carbon neutral in the world and in innovative technologies that will enable beyond zero by 2050. In the Circular Economy Vision 2020 also focuses on the development of digital technology because the world economy will not be supported by the linear economy model, in which means production, mass consumption, and mass disposal have been done in one direction. So digital technology is needed as a new driver to accelerate the transition to the circular economy. It is expected that industry, academia, and government will step up their efforts to create innovative innovation that contribute to solving these problems in accordance with the government movements. Under these situations, NEDO defines circular economy, bioeconomy, and sustainable energy as 3 social systems that realize a sustainable society and has established a symbol mark to represent them. In addition, in order to realize the integrated and organic promotion of these 3 social systems, NEDO has been drawing up technical development comprehensive guideline for realization of Sustainable Society 2020 as a guideline of efforts such as the way of technological development and the direction. In this slide, I will show you our calculation of the CO2 reduction potential of the major 70 innovative technologies. The technologies discussed here have high potential to reduce CO2 from hundreds of millions to several billion tons, and they are expected to contribute to reducing CO2 significantly by the promotion of technology development. The 17 technologies listed here alone are expected to reduce CO2 emissions by up to about 35 gigatons per year on a global basis. NEDO also estimated the cost for reaching an 80% reduction in GHG emissions. According to our calculation, it would cost $10 trillion annually by the year 2050. CO2 abatement costs can be decreased gradually according to advance the technology development as red arrow is shown. On the other hand, CO2 marginal abatement cost is shown with the blue arrow. The curve becomes to be positively sloped. From the point where both lines intersect, it is expected that new innovative technology will become popular and the social implementation will rapidly progress. In addition, the blue arrow itself can be bent to the lower direction by popularization and progress of new innovative technologies as indicated by the dotted line. As a result, this will contribute to reducing additional investment for countermeasure in $10 trillion scale significantly, as I explained earlier. In this way, I trust you will understand that promotion of R&D for new innovative technologies is extremely important to lead the significant decrease of the expenses for countermeasures. And all R&D will be carried out in coordinated manner and interlinked among the 3 social systems which I mentioned. We have to think of good carbon cycle mechanisms to reduce CO2, but when we look at the relationship with the three social systems which I mentioned, the structure is seen like this. CO2 emissions and the demand indicated in blue is reduced by energy saving, renewable energy and hydrogen, and the promotion of sustainable energy is found to be important. In addition to reduction demand of energy or substance themselves by recycling or sharing. It is essential to promote circular economy that released CO2 emissions are separated and collected at the maximum stores by CCS and EOR and used by CCU, as well as the CO2 emissions released into atmosphere are reduced at the maximum by utilizing such as DAC. Furthermore, it is also necessary to advance bioeconomy by promoting to immobilize CO2 in the ambient air to biomass with planting trees and by utilizing biomass, which is carbon neutrality for energies or production of substances. First, it can be concluded that the promotion of three social systems, namely sustainable energy, circular economy, and bioeconomy, is essential to reduce CO2 emissions. However, the technology cost of collecting and utilizing CO2 emissions to reduce them is still high, and cost reduction is necessary to promote the carbon cycle. Current commercialized method is a chemical absorption method. So NID has been conducting several R&D projects to lower the CO2 capturing cost, like this. This is one of example of NEDO's carbon recycling project. The artificial photosynthetic project is a 10-year project being carried out by METI and NEDO from fiscal year 2012. The process taking place during the project is shown in this slide. First, water is decomposed by photocatalyst under solar irradiation to create mixture gases of hydrogen and oxygen. Next, hydrogen is safely separated through membranes. Lastly, the separated hydrogen and CO2 emitted from factories are used to synthesize lower olefin. We are developing three core technologies: the visible light response photocatalyst for high solar to hydrogen energy conversion efficiencies, the safety separation of explosive mixed gas of hydrogen and oxygen, and the catalyst for on-demand olefin synthesis are our state-of-the-art technologies. The ultimate goal of the project is to generate raw material for creating chemical products by utilizing renewable energy and CO2 instead of using fossil resources. The project is expected to contribute to the development of a sustainable chemical industry and mitigation of climate change. In addition, I'd like to introduce some of the innovation expected in post-corona from the NEDO Corona report that I introduced first. First, in the field of 3R. In the corona pandemic, medical related waste has increased rapidly. Also, because of the lockdown, used paper and used clothing stayed in Japan, which forced us to include those that had been reused overseas. And the collection itself has stopped. To solve this problem, some new technologies are expected. For example, there are technologies for automatic segregation or sorting systems such as unmanned arms and high-speed sorters, chemical recycling technology that can handle multiple fields. The technology that gas fields waste and that produce synthetic gas to make chemicals and etc. In the field of environmental material and bioproduction, it is necessary to secure a resource that can be utilized and efficiently convert it into energy. For example, they are expected to improve the efficiency of biochemical hybrid production technology and gas fermentation technology that utilize marine resources and waste. In addition, this project run by Torway in Udon Thani province under the MOU between NIA and NATO. This plant can produce not only cellulosic sugars as a raw material of bioethanol production, but also produce high-value added products such as polyphenol and oligosaccharides. In fact, some innovative efforts are already underway to make technology more efficient. Coronavirus also made people avoid to touch each other, so it has increased the demand for plastics, especially in deliveries and takeaways. There may be an option not to use plastics in order to continuously promote environmental responsibility, but by promoting the plasticization of plastic raw materials and the technological development of biodegradable plastics. I think the idea of developing eco-friendly and resource recycling plastics is also important. In the field of renewable energy, it is necessary to need continuous development and improve the efficiency of those technologies such as solar power and wind power, as well as strengthen the energy system that can respond to the increasing demand for data centers through digitalization in the future. In addition, it is also necessary to strengthen energy system equipment technology, which is small and not expensive, but highly efficient and energy saving, that can respond to the increase in distributed network and working from home. What society is expected in the post-pandemic? And it's a sustainable society where economic and social activities do not stagnate. The digital is essential to the society of the future. In addition, a sustainable energy supply that supports it and environmental preservation are also important. Based on these, we need industry, government, and academia to work together to build the ideal society that I mentioned earlier. I think that there is nothing new that I've talked about today. And I don't think it's much different from what you have imagined, but it's just not the reality yet. You know, Pablo Picasso said, everything you can imagine is real. French novelist Jules Verne said, anything one man can imagine, other man can make real. Walt Disney also said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And actually, he made his dream come true. Please remember, isn't the part of the world of animation or movies you have ever watched in the past partly realities? However, it does nothing happen just by mulling about your imagination. It is important to take action and invest wisdom people and budget there. What should we do in order to live comfortably in the new normal era and connect it to the next generation? NATO will continue to focus on various technological development and their widespread dissemination. Therefore, I'd be happy if I could exchange opinions and information with you and various places. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yoshiki Yurugi of NATO. Thanks for highlighting some of your policies in order to see the development of green technology, and that the public and private sector must in fact work together in order to see a green future. We'll now take a short break. เอาละค่ะช่วงนี้ก็รับฟังนโยบายจากทาง NATO กันไปแล้วนะคะว่าในเรื่องของการพัฒนาเทคโนโลยีสีเขียวหรือว่า Green Technology Post COVID นะคะช่วงนี้เราจะพักกันสักครู่แต่ว่าช่วงหน้ายังคงเกาะติดในเรื่องของ BCG in Action ธีม1 ใน 6 ธีมหลักของการจัดงานในครั้งนี้นะคะกับหัวข้อที่ว่าองค์กรขนาดใหญ่และขนาดต่างๆนั้นเขามีการรับมืออย่างไรนะคะกับเทรนด์ที่เปลี่ยนแปลงไปสำหรับ Green Technology พักกันสักครู่นะคะเดี๋ยวกลับมาเจอกันค่ะ